Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to another Soul Hunters episode. Today, we're going to sit back and relax and take a look at the true power of Havoc. I feel like Havoc is one of the most underrated players or heroes in the game because I don't see him a lot. Not a lot of people use him. There is one guy on my server, well, he's on my guild that uses him a lot, and I like to use him in a certain type of team, and I'll show you guys what type of team I like to use him in. But first of all, Soul Hunters posted on their Facebook page on who would you rather go with if you could choose between Havoc and Ariel. If they went on head to head, who do you think would win? Alright, so that's a tricky question, but we'll dig a little bit further into that as we go a little, further into Havoc here. I feel like Havoc is very underrated for the simple reason that he's got a very unique ability, and that is what makes him one of the most unique heroes in the game. Not a lot of heroes have this. It's only him and Gus that has this ability. But let's just take a look at his abilities one more time, just in case you don't know who Havoc is. All right. Now let's take a look at his ultimate. First of all, his ultimate is very powerful, but being so powerful, it has a recoil damage. So he's gonna pick the weakest enemy, right? And they say he's going to sacrifice to the gods. He's going to inflict a large amount of magic damage, right? If the enemy dies, Havoc will receive a boost in his physical attack, physical armor, magic attack, and magic armor, which is really good, alright? So he's going to get a big boost if the opponent dies. If the opponent doesn't die, then he will sacrifice the weakest of his teammates. So it doesn't mean he's going to kill your weakest teammate. It just means that they're going to lose a little bit of health. All right, so typically you like to have them on a I'll talk about that a little bit later, but you like to have them on a physical kind of team where they can have lifesteal and regain a little bit of the health. That's where he works really good in. If the teammate dies, Havoc will get twice the boost in the attack and armor. All right, so even if your teammate does die, he is still going to get a big boost. So there's a lot of scenarios that could go with his ultimate. If he kills your enemy, he will get a big boost. If your if your ally dies, then he is going to get an even bigger boost. All right, so it's kind of a win-win. So that's the first, his ultimate. His second is Pandora's box. All right, and everybody knows you don't open Pandora's box, but Havoc opens it all the time. And what this does is it pretty much replaces Havoc's basic attack. Alright, so it says instead of using a basic attack, Havoc is going to release a rain of flames from his box, dealing AoE magic damage. Now AoE damage is great, and when he uses this, he deals a pretty good amount of damage to a bunch of enemies in the front there. The next one is Sorcerer's Staff. Sorcerer's Staff is actually really good. The reason for that is because it will hit the backline. It's going to hit 2 or 3 backline heroes, and there's not that many heroes that will do that. So that's another great thing. And when it does hit the enemy, it's going to disarm them. That's another ability that not too many people have. So disarming them basically means it's going to lower their, I think it's going to lower their attack. I'm pretty sure it's going to lower their attack. Now let's take a look at his last ability, which is the best. I feel it's his best ability. This is his best ability because he's the only one with it. There is another hero that has a kind of similar ability, but it's not exactly the same, alright? Now I'll take a look at the differences in a minute, but his fourth ability, it's a passive ability. Means all of his enemies are going to get a debuff in their physical attack by 28.65% when he's maxed out at level 90, okay? So that is a big percentage. The other hero that I was thinking about, I'll take a look at really quickly here, is, where is he? This guy, Gustafsson, my boy Gus the Panda. So if you look at Magic Pillars, his fourth ability, if you scroll down to the bottom, it says reduces enemy physical attack by 470. Now this is the same as Havoc, but his is a set number, so it's by 470, whereas in, let's take a look at Havoc's again. Havoc's is not set. Alright, so Havoc is a percentage, so the higher the percentage the hero has, the higher attack it has, the lower it's going to drop it. Alright, so that's why his is a little bit better than Gus, I feel like. And that's what makes him really useful, alright? A lot of people underestimate this guy, but when used on the right team, he is really, really good. Now, let's go back to the original conversation where you get to pick between Ariel and Havoc. Here's a battle, you know, that I did in my arena with somebody on my server. And now here's the problem. Havoc is 3 stars. Ariel, on the other hand, is 7 stars. So she's fully maxed out, 7 stars. Havoc is a lot less powerful than her, but you guys are going to see the power of Havoc here. And he's very powerful. Even though Ariel is a magic user, so his 4th abilities pretty much doesn't really count, count in this battle. It's still very useful in other battles. So here it is, using his ultimate. He's going to deal 15,000 damage, which is a lot. And he, as you can see, he only lost a little bit of damage to himself, even though he didn't kill Ariel. So it's still really, really good. He never has a basic attack, so that's his 2 attacks. He's going to use Pandora's box, right? He's going to use his staff. The staff is really good because it hits enemies in the back. So I love to use this guy on teams that are going to hit backline enemies. And check it out here. It's neck and neck. They're so close. Ariel only has this much HP, and Havoc had the same amount, but Ariel attacked first and killed him. Now, if you take a look at the details, Havoc dealt way more damage than Ariel. So, and he's 3 stars. Like I said, she's 7 stars. And it wasn't even really close. If it was both on even keel, 7 stars, I think this battle will have been over with. In my opinion, Havoc is going to become one of the best heroes, guys. Trust me. Alright guys, so this is kind of an example of what I like to do with a Havoc here. When you see your team, your opponent is hitting you, or they have pretty much a physical team set up, what I like to do is go in with a pretty much a whole kind of AoE backline type of team. Alright, I call this my backline destroyer team, and as you can see, they made quick work of this team. Havoc's ultimate is going to reduce everybody's physical attack. Tanya and Xanos is going to swoop into the backline and pretty much take them out one by one, as well as Havoc's staff attack. Then Leia and Riley are the ones that are going to do the AoE physical damage. It pretty much wipes out their backline. If you see if your opponent has a strong front line, meaning like tanks, and their backline is weak, you can roll with a team like this, take out their backline, and their tanks are pretty much not going to do anything at all. And here's another example of the same team that I like to use here, and it's pretty much going to do the same job. Once Tanya jumps in the back, she's going to attract a lot of attention. She's going to pull a lot of attacks. It's going to leave Havoc open for a while. The whole enemy team is going to be low on health. If Havoc can get his ultimate off, he's pretty much going to kill somebody for sure, but it's not even going to be necessary because by the time this all happens, they will pretty much all be dead. Here he is now. I'm going to use everybody's ultimate pretty much. Alright, saved up Havoc. Let's go Havoc. Let's see what he can do here. It's going to be a lot of damage if you can kind of spot where he's going to attack. And I didn't see who the hell he attacked. Everything is happening so fast. But it doesn't matter. They're all dead. It works pretty much every time here. And there you have it, guys. He doesn't deal the most damage because everybody else is higher level stars. But it's not about damage. Most of these type of games, it's about strategy, alright? You want to counter your opponents, and Havoc is a great physical counter, alright? Alright guys, so that'll be it about Havoc today. I'm going to end this video off now. I hope I shed some light into Havoc's abilities here and some proper ways to use him. He's very underrated, okay? You can definitely surprise a lot of people by putting this guy in your team. I also like to run a lot of teams with him and Gus on the same team, especially if I'm facing a full physical team, alright? You kind of got to go with what your opponent is playing, alright? If he's playing strong front tanks, then you want to go with some strong DPS heroes. But if he's facing 2 tanks, this guy is great to go kill the back line, you know, and then worry about the front line afterwards. So that's my opinion on Havoc. I think he's a really good hero, and as Soul Hunters put on their Facebook page, he's going to get an awakening on the next update, which is very cool. I can't wait to see what that is, so that's going to be awesome. And I'll end it off here, guys. I hope you enjoy that, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of Soul Hunters. Till then, have a good morning, good afternoon, and good night.